Very important question. Suppose in your HTML you have one outer div element, and inside it there is one inner div, and inside that we have this button with ID my button. Basically nothing but the nested elements, right? Now, as per the event bubbling, if we click the innermost element of the HTML, which is here button is the innermost, right? Then first this button event will be triggered. Then the next level inner div element will be triggered, and then the outer div element will be triggered. So that is event bubbling. Bubble. It will grow, grow, grow. Okay. So like in this diagram, the event will be triggered from the bottom to the top of the DOM, and that is event bubbling. Let's see the code. Here first we will get the reference to all the elements and add the event handlers with all the elements like this. Okay. Now here is the function. See, no extra code or setting is required. If you trigger the event of the button, which is the innermost, then all the parent events will be fired automatically. So that is event bubbling. The conclusion is event bubbling is the process in JavaScript where an event triggered on a child element propagates up the DOM tree, okay, and triggering event handlers on its parents elements. Great. Now I think in this lifetime you will.
Welcome back to our new video. We started daily series that the day 7. So, in previous class, we can study about uh, uh, pro, yeah, promise. We can see promise and their all functions, methods, and all. After that, we can see strict mode. And that's some cases we can see. After that, we can see type of operator, undefined property, null value, and after that difference, what is avail, and yeah, Windows document, and delete caps lock, undetected and undefined. That's all uh, we see in yesterday's class. If you don't watch, you can watch now. So now today there is a question: what are global variable? So global variable are those that are available throughout the length of the code without any scope. The var keyword is used to declare a local variable, but if you omit it, then it will become global variable. So that's the global variable. It shows that the length of code without any scope. Yeah, the locals variable, but if you omit, then it will become a global variable. So we can see in previous class, global variable are the variable are used in before 2050 uh, when they use a var statement, sorry, var variable to define any variables. So that's time it used the global variable. That's called global variable because this using anywhere, or we can call anywhere from the codes. That's why. Then what are the problem with the global variable? The problem with global variable is the conflict of variable name of local and global scope. It is difficult to debug and test the code that reply, release or global variable. So basically, there is some problem when we declare a variable. After that, if you declare same variable in below the code, it gets stuck or get error. That's why because the vars variable can be declared one variable to multiple times. That's why they are. showing such errors. What is non-property? The non-property is a global property that represent non a number value, that is, it indicates that a value is not a legal number. It is very rare to use none in a program, but it can use as return value for few cases. So non-property is a global property represent none. So basically there is a property that can be used in global variable, but in case there is no use, because sometimes none is not used, that's the thing. Okay, after that, what is the purpose of is finite function? So the is finite function is used to declare whether a number is a finite legal number. It returns false if the value is plus infinity or minus infinity or none, not a number. Otherwise, it returns true. So is finite. It means there is a number is finite or not. It can be shown the. It can be yeah, shown. It if there is a number is if finite, then they can be shown as true. If not, they can be shown as false. Yeah, what is an event flow? Event flow is an order in which event is received on the web page. When you click as elements that is nested in various others element, before you click actually reach its destination or target element, it must trigger the click element for each of its parents element, first starting at the top with the global windows object. There are two ways to even loop: top to bottom, even capturing bottom to top. Yeah, so there is two elements. Uh, what is event bundling? So event bundling is the type of event progression where the element first triggers on the innermost target element and then successfully trigger on the ancious parent of the target element in the same nested hierarchy till it reach the outermost DOM elements, that is global window object. So event bundling is basically when the events triggered, if there is a function that's you can call some events, that time its events triggered, then it then successively triggered on parents target elements. In some cases, nesting reaching till the reach of outermost. Okay, there is a script. There is a parent div child. Okay, it gets a function parents. After that child. Okay, there is two function it used. What is event capturing? Event capturing is a type of event propagation where the event is first captured by the outermost element and then successively triggered on the descriptant of the target element in the same nested hierarchy till it reach the innermost target element. How do you submit a from using JavaScript? So you can submit a from using document.from.submit. All all the form event in all the form input inform is submitted using our on submit event handles. Okay. How do you find operating system details? The window navigator object contains information about the visitor browser OS details. Dot. Some of the OS properties are available under platform property. What is difference between document load and DOM content loader events? The DOM content loader elements is fired when the entire HTML document that has been completely loaded and parsed without waiting for asserts still sheet image and subframe to finish loading, whether the local event is fired when the whole page was load include all department dependent rescuer resource. What are okay, that's not important. What is the difference between native host and user object? Native objects are the objects that are part of the JavaScript language defined by the ECMAS ECMA script specification, for example string math express object function etc. Core object defined in the ECMA script spec host object, for example window XML HTTP request DOM nodes etc. are considered as host object. User object are object defined in the JavaScript code, for example user object create for profile information. What are the tool or technique used for debugging JavaScript code? There is three technique: Chrome dev tool, debugging statement, good old console.log statement. So basically, we are using console.log because it can be console easily or debug. What are the pros and cons of promise over callback? So it avoid callback hell, which is unreadable. Easy to write sequential asynchronous code with .then. Easy to write parallel asynchronous code with promise.all. Solve some of the common problem of callback. Call the callback too late, too early. Many time and shallow error expect. So cons. There is it make it makes little complex code. You need to load a polyfill if ESC is not supported. Yeah. What is difference between an attributes and a property? Attributes are defined on the HTML markup, whether properties are defined on the DOM. For example, the below. Okay, there is an HTML element to attributes type and values. There is a type text and value name. Okay, you can use attributes. Now, okay. What is same original policy? The same original policy is a policy that prevents JavaScript from making requests across domains, don't boundaries, and origin is a defined as a com, combination of URL script. host name and port name. If you enable this policy, then it prevents a malicious script on one page from obtaining access to sensitive data on. What is the purpose of void zero? Void zero is used to prevent the page of from refresh the. This will be helpful to eliminate the unwanted side effect become it will return the undefined primitive value. It is commonly used for HTML documents that use uh, href JavaScript dot void zero while an element that is when you click a link the browser load a new page or refresh the same page, but this behavior will be prevented using this expression. For example, the b okay there is okay in JavaScript a compiler or intermediate language. Oh, JavaScript is an interpreted language, not a compiled language. An interpreted in a browser reads over the JavaScript code, interpreted each line and runs it. Nowadays, modern browsers use a technology known as just-in-time compilation, which compiles JavaScript to executable bytecode just as it is and about to run. Is JavaScript a case sensitive language? Yes. JavaScript is a case sensitive language. The language keyword, variable, function, and object name and any other indications must always be typed with a constant capitalization of letters. So, is there a relation between Java and JavaScript? No, there is an entire two different programming language and have nothing to do with each other. But both of them are object oriented program language like this, like many other language. They follow similar syntax for basic features, that is if else or switch, break, continue, like that. An event, oh okay, event are things that happen to HTML elements. When JavaScript is used in HTML pages, JavaScript can read react on this event. So web page are finished loading. Input finding was changed. Button was clicked. There are some HTML and CSS is used, not CSS, JavaScript. So it just create function greeting. In between that, they use an alert that's hello, good morning, and they create one button that is when you click the button they shows hello good morning. Who created JavaScript? JavaScript was created by Brendan Eich in 1995 during his time at Netscape Communications. Initially it was developed under the name Mucha, but later the language was officially called LiveScript. When it first script shipped in beta release of Nescafe. What is use of prevent default method? The prevent default method cancels the event if it is cancelable, meaning that the default action or behavior that belongs to the events while none occurs. For example, prevent from submission when clicking on submit button and prevent openings the page URL when clicking on hyperlink and Some common use case. Okay, what is the use of stop propagation method? The stop propagation method is used to stop the event from bubbling up the event chain. For example, the below nested deals with stop propagation method prevent default element propagation when clicks on nested divs. What are the steps innovated in returns false usage? The return false statement in event handling perform first, it stops the browser default action or behavior. It prevents the events from propagation the DOM. Stop callback execution and return elemented when called. What is BOM? The browser object module BOM allows the JavaScript to talk to the browser. It consists of the browser navigation history, screen location, and document which are children of the window. The browser object model is not standardized and can change based on different browser. What is the use of set timeout? So the set timeout method is used to call a function or evaluate an expression after a specified number of millisecond. For example, uh, l- log a message after 2 seconds using set timeout method. So we can get use set timeout function and console log good morning. After that, there is 2000. It is for 2 seconds. Yeah. What is the use of set interval? The set interval method is used to call a function or evaluate an expression at specific event init interval in millisecond. For example, function or evaluation and expression at okay. So set timeout or set interval there is difference between they use intervals and they use timeout. Why in JavaScript it is as single threaded? JavaScript is a single threaded language because the language specification does not allow the programmers to write code so that the interpreted can run part of its and parallel in multi-threaded or progression. Whether language like Java, Go, C++ can make multi-threaded and multi-processed program. What is an delegation? Event delegation is a technique for listening to event when you declared a parent event as a listener for all of the event that happen inside it. Okay. What is ECMA script? So ECMA script is a scripting language that form the basic of JavaScript. ECMA script standardized by ECMA International Standard Organization in ECMA 262 and ECMA 402 specialization. The first edition of ECMA script was released in 1997. Okay, so that's for today. We can see on next video.